Good morning. Today we will perform the time response of the second order system. Here we can see the RLC circuit is there having the resistance, inductance and capacitance. Okay. So the value of the resistance, inductance and capacitance we have to adjust in such a way that we should get the transient response of the systems. So there are two inductors are there. One is L1, another is the L2. These two inductors are there. Upper is L1, below is L2. Then there is a capacitor C1. Two capacitors are there. Another capacitor is C2. So we can select one inductance L1 and another capacitance C1. Okay. And resistance variable part is there. We can vary the resistor, and therefore if you vary the resistor, okay, if you now I am varying the resistor. If you vary the resistor, then we can change the response of the systems. Okay, I am now varying the resistors. So what do you mean by transient response of the second order systems? Means such RLC circuit is given, and if you apply the step signal through the step input generator which is applied to this RLC circuit, and if you find the response, that is the output response, output voltage across the digital oscilloscope, then we will get the transient response like this. Now okay, we can vary capacitance once inductance they are fixed, but here we have the provision to vary the resistance part. Okay, so by varying this resistance we can change the resistance, and accordingly the transient response of the circuit change. Okay, now the next is the we have to measure certain parameters when you perform this experiment. Parameters are time response specification of the systems. For example, what do you mean by time response specifications? Means there are certain definitions we are there which we are required to find from the digital oscilloscope. Okay, so the time response specifications means we have to find the delay time, we have to find the rise time, again we have to find the peak time, then peak overshoot, settling time and the steady state error. So these we have to find. Okay, so the first peak, okay, we can see here the first peak is there. So first peak we can change this response, and we can say like this. Okay, so this is the first peak is there. So the time required for the response to reach the 50% of the final value in the first attempt. So what is the final value? Here we can have the final value, suppose it is 1, it is magnitude of 1. So our response is starting like this. So from this reference to the time required to reach the 50% of the final value, okay, that is called as the delay time. So that we have to find out. Delay time means the here it is, suppose we can consider this magnitude is the 100% magnitude, and 50% means this is up to this. So from this to this, so this is a 50% time delay. So time delay is the time required for the response to reach the 50% of the final value. Final value is the, suppose we can call it as unity. Okay, so to reach the unity, whatever the time required for the unity, that is a total time, and just we have to take the 50% of the final value. Okay, that is a delay time. And next we have to find the rise time. So it is the rise, it is the time required for the response to rise from the 10 to 90%, or the 0 to 100% of the. So 10 to 90% it is used for the overdamped system, and 0 to 100% for the underdamped system. Then there is a peak time. It is the time required for the response to reach the peak time of the peak time, or it is also known as the peak overshoot. whatever the time required for the response to reach the peak overshoot. Okay, then there is a peak overshoot we have to also find. Peak overshoot can be found from the peak overshoot is, suppose this is the magnitude, and here we can take the reference, and from this reference to the overshoot, that is your peak maximum overshoot, that we can call it as maximum overshoot. So how we can find? Just by finding the response at peak time minus the response at infinity divided by the response at infinity. If you multiply it by 100, you will get the peak overshoot. Then there is a settling time. Settling time is the time required for the response to reach and stay within the specified tolerance band. Okay, usually 2 to 5% of its final value. And next is the steady state error. It indicates the error between actual output and desired output. It indicates the error between actual output and desired output as t tends to infinity. Okay, so in this way we have to find these parameters for the response. The response is generally like this. You can see here. Okay, now the same response you are viewing. Okay, so the time required, total voltage is the reference value 0 to V, and what is the half? It is V by 2. So whatever the time required to reach from 0 to the V by 2, that is the delay time, and the rise time is the time required for the response to reach 0 to the 100%, means 0 to the V, 0 to the 100%, that is the when your system is under time. Okay, and then there is a peak time. Peak time is denoted by Tp. This is the time required for the response to reach to the first peak of the overshoot. Okay, and then there comes the settling time. We can see here Ts is the settling time. So the response initially there is a transients, but after some time the transients are dying out slowly, and after some time, so we can consider here Ts. Okay, so it is shown in the diagram. In this after this Ts, our response is lies within the specified tolerance band. Okay, this may be the 2 to 5% of the final value. Okay, so after this Ts, our response is not going beyond this dotted line. That means it has been settled in the specified tolerance band. Okay, therefore this is called as the settling time. And peak overshoot is the overshoot from the voltage V to the peak, that is a MP, that is called as the maximum overshoot. So here we have to, from the digital oscilloscope, we will measure this settling time, then rise time, peak time, and then delay time. Maximum overshoot we can also find. Okay, and therefore by observing this response on the digital oscilloscope, we can also measure the same parameter, that is a settling time, rise time, okay, delay time, maximum overshoot. So here what we have to do, we have to first find the values of these parameters theoretically. Means we will provide you the value of resistance R, inductance L, and capacitance C. Okay, so when these values are provided to you, you are required to find out what is the damping ratio of the system. Okay, what is the damping ratio of the system, that we can find from the observation table. So we will provide you the value of resistance R, then inductance, then capacitance, and then you are required to find the different parameters. Okay, so this is the actually the observation table. resistance will be given, inductance will be given, capacitance will be given, and we are required to find a damping ratio, that is rho is equal to R by 2 square root of C by L. Then we have to find a natural frequency, that is omega n is equal to 1 over square root of LC, radian per second, and then we have to find a damped frequency, that is a omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. Okay, so these parameters we have to find first, okay, for the different value of the damping ratio. So what are the value of the damping ratio? These are the values. When your damping ratio is less than 1 and greater than 0. Second, when your damping ratio is equal to 1 and when your damping ratio is greater than 1. Okay, when damping ratio is between 0 and 1, it means that your system is under damped. When your damping ratio is 1, it means your system is critically damped, and when the damping ratio is greater than 1, it is an over damped system. We can call it as an over damped system. So once you get these values, and we have to calculate the different these parameters for different value of the damping ratios, and finally we have to find the maximum overshoot from the observation as well as theoretical by theoretically. Okay, so this is MP calculated and this is MP observed. MP calculated means theoretically we have to calculate this value, approximately it is coming 60%, and observed values as theoretical and practical value has to match, slightly variation will be there and it can be accepted. Okay, so here the maximum overshoot calculated and observed, it is almost same. Okay, thank you very much. We will perform this and the observation will be shared to you. Okay, this video will also share to you. Go through the video and do one more things before going to see this video. Try to read the time response specifications of the system. So when you do some homework before proceeding to do something, then it will be better that you will understand more. At that time you will get more things about the things which you are doing. Thank you very much.